Hey guys, Chicky DeMaine, aka DeBud.com with your surf forecast video update. This forecast video update brought to you by Fluid Surf Shop, Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Visit them at fluidsurfshop.com. Okay guys, the forecast is changing up just a little bit. It looks like now we're going to have a decent southerly suck-up coming for the Gulf of Mexico and a 10 plus second swell period developing for West Florida. For you guys tuning in on the Atlantic side, we're going to take you up to 96 hours in the upcoming forecast, and we'll do a separate update on what the Atlantic is going to look like. I know a lot of you guys are checking in to see on our call about a major swell event. Models are changing up a little bit, so is the forecast. So here we go. Here's what's happening next 24 hours. Images for Saturday. We're starting to see a little southeast wind flow start to develop in the Gulf of Mexico. On Sunday, it turns more to a southerly flow in front of an approaching area of low pressure. Now, this is the area of low pressure that we talked about last week, and we showed you in some satellite imagery that the next front is coming through, and the models were hinting at an area of low pressure developing in here in the western Gulf of Mexico and moving across the state of Florida. They have now shifted just a little bit further north. Either way, Sunday afternoon, south winds starting to increase in here in the Gulf of Mexico. When we get into Monday, that southerly flow now is going to switch behind this area of low pressure that's starting to work its way through the southeast on Monday, and a northwest flow developing on the backside of the low pressure. That's what West Florida is going to be watching for coming up. When we move to the 96-hour time frame, we now have a more westerly flow into western Florida with strong northwest to west winds as this area of low pressure tries to work its way into the Atlantic. It's at this point, which the images for Tuesday, that we're going to have to take a closer look and see what this low is going to actually do for surf for the eastern coast of the United States. The GFS has fallen back in line with a more traditional trajectory and movement of this low pressure, and now wants to move this off towards the northeast at a fairly good clip. If that happens, back to small for all for East Coast. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Here's the next 72-hour wind wave projection out of NOAA, Tropical Atlantic Forecast Branch, showing seas getting elevated now in here into the 6 to 8 feet, 6 to 7 feet, just south of the panhandle in here in a southerly flow. And on the backside, a little hard for you guys to probably see, but there's a possible gale setting up with northwest winds of 25 to 30 knots, may see gusts as high as 35. Now, that predominant northwest flow that's setting up in the western half of the Gulf of Mexico should set up in about 96 hours, a 10-second northwest ground swell coming in. Now, wind is going to be a factor because, as we just showed you, as that low pressure moves over here southeast Georgia, North Florida, that may create a strong onshore wind flow. So we'll have to stay tuned in on that. Check back soon for the next update.